All right, y'all, today's the day. We're going to get this sweatshirt finished. So I've got the front and the back, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line these up. Probably grab some clips. I'm going to line these up, and I'm going to stitch the shoulder seams. And then I am going to hopefully line up the sleeves in the sleeve holes and sew those in, and then I'll sew the side seams. I think I might take you along to the sewing machine today. I really want to get this done for a couple of reasons. A, I have a couple other things I want to move on to that I don't want to move on to until these are done. This is done. And B, we are at the coldest. We are going to have freezing temperatures the next couple of days. Yes, even here in South Florida. And I kind of would like to be able to wear this before the weather gets warmer again. I did do a double check with my mic, so I should have good sound going today. And let's get going. We're going to go to the sewing machine. I have my bright pink thread in there today. I have my walking foot or even feed foot on, and I have a ballpoint or stretch needle. So I decided to go with pins. I'm using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. That is how I cut the whole thing. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm just going to start here. 1/2 inch. Let's see, that's probably good. Backtrack a little bit. Really glad I decided to use the even feed foot on this because I'm not sure that this machine would feed this through. Now, this one is just for me. If I was doing this one to actually sell in my Etsy shop, I would probably break out the serger. Since this one's just for me, I'm not going to bother. This does not want to feed through, even with the walking foot. This is a very thick spot too. This spot has the black, which is a thicker fabric than some of the other ones. The black, the flowers, the tie-dye, and then the black again. I wasn't really paying attention when I was cutting these pieces out and putting the front and back together. I've got the pink and pink matching up at the shoulder too, which I don't think it makes a difference. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to go piece those sleeves in. Hopefully they match up. Because remember, this was a self-drafted pattern from another shirt that I did not take apart. So let me go get those sleeves in and I'll be right back. I have one pinned. That was a whole lot of pinning. And I pinned it pretty often, and I'll tell you why. Because I really was worried it was going to shift as I was stitching, because one is curved this way and one is curved that way. So I pinned pretty often. I figured I'd rather pin too much than not enough. And again, we're still sticking with the 1/2 inch seam allowance. I am going to back tack on this. Okay, so the first pin I went over, no problem. This one I hit. That's time to go in the recycle bin as soon as I find it. There we go. Kind of bent that one a little bit. It's where all my broken needles, broken bent pins, all that goes. If I go slow enough, it's not a problem. When I learned to sew, I know a lot of the kids now, they do the pins this way, and they pull them out as they go. When I learned to sew, you know, back before we all had digital sewing machines, we pinned the way I pinned today so that we could run the pins over. I mean, those old Singers were workhorses. It never hurt those or the pins. They just, needle just slid off. Okay, that's one. Go pin the other one and I will be back. See how that looks. Oh, I think that's looking pretty good. Okay. All right. Number 2, here we go. Okay. So next, I'm going to do the sides. So what I want to do is get rid of that scrap. I'm not sure where I picked that up. Okay, so we are right sides together. And we are going to go like this with the sleeve. Fold the sleeve in half. Fold the front armpit to the back armpit. And then the side seam front to back. So because the most crucial spot is this armpit. Woo, that's a big difference there, isn't it? Okay, so because the most crucial spot is this armpit, I'm going to start there and go to the end. And then I'm going to start at the armpit again and go back out to the end, if that makes any kind of sense to you. Hopefully it does. I'm going to line up this seam. I was going to do them open, but I think I'm just going to, I think I'm just going to nest them. I'm going to push them one way and one the other way and then nest them. I think that's going to be the easiest way to match those up. Now these other ones I am going to try to push them open. So funny story, these don't match up either. That's okay. We'll work it out. When I put those cuffs on, it'll be fine. Okay, ouch. So I'm going to start here at the armpit. Just broke a needle. Hit that pin and broke a needle. That's why you don't hit pins. That made me sweat just a little bit. I'm a little disappointed I'm going to be cutting off some of this flower stuff, but there's a lot of it in here anyway, so it'll be fine. And, you know, it's off on these seams too. And again, this is for me. This is my first one. If I was actually doing this one for sale, I would do it a little bit differently in my Etsy shop. I don't know that I will do these and offer them for sale. This was a lot of work, and now I understand why they charge what they do for these. You know, these are usually, when you see them online for sale, they're quite often $150, $200 or more, depending on what they are. So totally understandable. I'm just not sure that I want to do them. I may change my mind. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to go try this on, and we'll go from there. Get out, Mace. Move, Macy. Move, Mace. Let me do a test. Oh, Jesus, Maisie. Okay. This is looking pretty good. I like the length of the sleeves. I like them to be long. I still have to put the ribbing on the bottom. The length here is pretty good. It's a little short. It's not going to bunch up a lot, but once I put the ribbing on, I think that'll be good too. It's a little higher in the neckline than I like. I don't wear men's shirts usually because of that. I don't like for it to be up against and I still have to put the hood on here. So I am going to just from here, I'm just going to cut just a little bit lower before I put the hood on. But other than that, I am thinking, Macy, can you move again, baby? I am thinking that this is looking pretty good. I can't see if I'm centered there for you to look at, but got the pockets, and I'm going to go get this finished up. I just got to put the ribbing on here, the ribbing on the bottom, and the hood, and we're going to be done. Okay, I did it. I broke down and I dug out the serger. It was on my other sewing table with a bunch of stuff stacked in front of it. There had been a cat back there that had played with all the threads and had them all knotted up. So I had to take those out. I had to rethread it. It was all dusty. I dusted it the best I could. I vacuumed all down inside the best I could without tearing it apart. Should be ready to go. I decided, because this had all of this thickness here that I didn't cut off, and I didn't want to cut it off because I was worried that this knit, the rib knit, would fray a little bit before I got to sew it. So that's where I'm at, and I'm going to start at one of the sides. I'm going to start, I think I'll start in the middle of the back, actually, because the sides have seams in them. And I don't want to get tangled up on a seam, but I am going to use the serger because it'll trim it. Now, I did have to stretch. I stretched and pinned. I met up, the centers and all of that. I definitely don't want to run over any pins. I probably should have gotten another pin caddy because this one is throwing them off. I'll be right back. Get another pin caddy. Okay, this one should hold pretty well, I think. Okay, so let's get this up underneath here. It's been a hot minute since I've used the serger, so let's all cross our fingers. Oh, might help if the needle was up. All right, I am just going to try to trim this as I go. My blade is up, so let's see what we got going here. I have hit pins with this before, and actually the blade just cut the pin, which was really bad because then I still had to get it out. All right, that's looking pretty clean. All right, I'm never sure how to tie these off. And I've seen about a dozen people say they just play with them until they come undone and then they tie a knot. So I'm going to give that a try. I have problems, cut that a little shorter. I have problems with seeing black thread. I need new glasses to start with, which I have coming, but they won't be here for about a week. And it was right about here my mic died, the mic that I checked earlier. So anyway, enjoy the next couple segments, sped up with no sound, but you can tell what I'm doing. I put those pieces on. I went back. There were a couple spots that were a little low there. So, and then I went back and I just sewed over those spots with a straight stitch on my regular machine because I had such a hard time tying them off. So then I put the the wrist cuffs on. I can't talk today. The cuffs on, and then I went back and put the hood on. And then we'll be back for the final showing. Okay, y'all, here it is. I'm so excited. The hood worked. This is awesome. I almost didn't put the hood on. I thought maybe I would just do the ribbing around the neckline. I don't usually use the hoods, but I like hoodies better because they always have the front pockets, and the ones that just have the ribbing around the neckline don't normally. And I know it looks crooked, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is. And I may go back. I've got a twin needle setting on my regular sewing machine, which has a little stretch to it. And I may go back and stitch this down with the twin needle. I'm just not sure. Put my mic back on so you can hear me. I don't know if you could hear me with that. But this came out So good. Put the hood up. I can tie the hood because it's got a string. I might pull the blue string out and put it in this one. It's colorful. It's got my favorite things. It's got flowers and tie-dye and pink and, sorry, dogs dancing around me because I'm so excited. I don't know. I love it. Hey, y'all, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I'm so excited about this now. I may have to make another one. I don't know. It was tight using 3. I think I would rather use 4 for regular sweatshirts, or 3 maybe really big oversized ones, because you do lose a lot when you're cutting them apart and piecing them back together. But have you all done any of this? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. Would you try it now that I have? This was so much fun. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave me a comment, give me a hype, all the fun stuff, and we'll see you on the next one.